is Rafael Gonzalez. I am Executive Vice President and Chief Legal Officer at Flagship Services Group. Compliance, like this statute, has evolved. And so today, when we talk about compliance, we're really talking about three separate components. Mandatory reporting, the payer, that insurer, that self-insured, right, who's ultimately settling the case with that beneficiary, that entity must report information about this claim with a Medicare beneficiary to the federal government. Step two is then an identification of, has Medicare made any payments? And if so, paying back those payments. Level three is then looking at the future, right? Now that you're settling the case, Medicare, taxpayers essentially, want to make sure that none of us are shifting the responsibility of that future medical care over to Medicare. If folks don't comply, there is penalties, up to $1,000 per day per file on every situation where you are not providing the federal government with the mandated or mandatory information. And it's 161 pieces of information. So it's incredibly detailed as to the amount of information that Medicare is going to want, again, to identify the case so that they know what to do next. On the conditional payment side of things, right? If you don't reimburse Medicare those dollars, then Medicare has, under the statute and the Code of Federal Regulations that have been passed, the authority to sue any of the parties involved in the file, which means they can go after the Medicare beneficiary, they can go after the employer, the self-insured, the insurance company. The largest insurers out there certainly have a plan in place because they have so much to lose. But if you're a middle, small-size employer or insurer, right, or you're only handling a couple of cases and you settle only one Medicare beneficiary case a year, and you've done one a year for the last 10 years, $1,000 per day per file, you add it up. It could devastate an employer. It could, literally ruin a small insurance company. Flagship is a premier provider of all of these services, right? We provide mandatory insurer reporting services for our clients. All of that information that Medicare would require, we take that from you, right? We evaluate it to make sure that it is compliant with what Medicare has told us is necessary, and then we provide that information over to government so that we absolutely protect you from that $1,000 per day per file type penalty that could be associated with non-compliance. We also do all components of conditional payment services. We can craft and have been crafting specific plans on the mandatory insurer reporting, on the conditional payment side. We're experts at that MedPay, PIP, no-fault process. We will craft a very specific Medicare set-aside, specific to that individual, right, with incredible attention to detail about those specific needs. So that incredible detail to each and every one of these components is, I think, what absolutely sets us apart from every other vendor out there.